It's getting there. It's getting there. And we're live.
I need a hero. A hero to the end of the night.
He's gotta be strong, and he's gotta be fast, and he's gotta be larger than life.
Can I tell you guys something about that real quick? This week, I have heard that song 3 times. I heard it during the Masters of the Universe trailer. I heard it during the Guardians of the Galaxy game trailer. And now I'm hearing it here. I am convinced that I'm going to hear that song 7 times, and then I'm going to die. The last time will be a car hit me, and the car's radio was playing, I need a hero.
I was going to say, for the love of God, do not watch Shrek 2 again this week.
Watch Shrek 2. I heard that's a really good movie.
Shrek 2 is amazing. Have you not seen Shrek 2, Sher?
Oh, I was just teasing you.
Okay.
I have the DVD.
Nice.
And I'm proud of you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Disney Plus Pals and episode 2 of Loki. Now, after this episode... Oh, by the way, I'm joined by Jack of all trades. And Sherry the Dizwiz, who is...
Princess. I'm the princess today. Hello.
Princess Cher is Charisse the Dizwiz.
Hello.
Because LARP. So, I said something right after this episode ends. I got in a party with my friend, and I said it. It was the first thing I ever officially said about this episode. I got there, and now I'm going to say the same thing to you guys. Is this the best show?
Yes.
I think this might be the best show.
I will admit, I'm still humming Agatha all along, but I think this kind of topped it.
Yeah, spoilers for my final score. I think this is the best episode of any of the Disney Plus shows.
Including Mandalorian?
Any of the Marvel ones.
See, now I got you thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the best ones. I don't know. I still really like... I would say this show is it's gearing up, it's building up. It could be the best one. I still really like what they did in Falcon and Winter Soldier with Isaiah Bradley. I think that's going to stick with me. But yeah, no, I do think this is the best show so far, and we're only on episode 2, which is amazing for the future.
That's the thing, where this episode ends feels like it should have been this is the penultimate episode. Yeah. And the next episode is going to be the climax of the story. But
Bro,
no.
I had that same feeling. I was like, this feels like in a different show, this would have been the episode before the last episode. Or this would have been the cliffhanger at the end of the season. It's fucking episode 2. We're going to find out next week what the fuck is going on, if we can even wait that long, because, geez, the show is amazing. What did you think, Cher? You need a hero.
I have Miss Minutes, and I'm happy she's still here. She's not just a regular mascot that only comes one time. She's actually interacting with everybody. I love you, Tara Strong. I love you, man.
I was honestly surprised when she was a real thing.
Yeah.
I also like how Loki was like, are you recording or are you alive? And she's like, I'm kind of both. I don't even know what that means, dude.
Like an AI or something?
Well,
who knows?
The thing I thought, because, I like Doctor Who, there's this one episode. I can't even remember what it's called, but everyone knows it. It's really famous. It's the the Weeping Angels David Tennant episode.
Wait.
I love David Tennant. I just have never seen Doctor Who. My father would probably look at me in shame because he loves all the sci-fi stuff. He loves Twilight Zone. He loves Star Trek. He loves Doctor Who. I have not seen Doctor Who, but I'm a really huge fan of David Tennant.
I stuck with Doctor Who for 9th Doctor, 10th Doctor, and 11th Doctor. And then I kind of petered out. But who knows? Maybe I'll go back.
I would recommend checking out 12th. Capaldi's first season is okay, and as he goes on, he just gets better and better.
I know, because, my dad grew up in the 60s, so he was there when the actual series premiered. Well, during that time frame. I'm assuming it took place in the 60s, because I think it was black and white first.
Episode 1 aired the night JFK was assassinated.
Whoa.
If that works for your timeline, figuring out exactly how that was.
Wait, that would be 63. I think that would be 63.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not too good on my American history. My British history is episode 1 was the day JFK got shot, whenever that was.
But the reason I bring it up is because in that episode, the Doctor has a moment where he communicates with like people in the past because it's a recording. Like they took notes of what he says. He took notes of what they said. Essentially, what they did was they wrote down the conversation. He got it in the future. He made a video to the past, and then he was able to communicate.
Is that the one where he says, "Don't blink"?
Yes.
Yeah. That episode's
I keep seeing it all the time with like David Tennant funny, like best moments videos. I keep seeing that. I was like, oh, okay.
It's a very episode.
The thing I know, first of all, that is an extremely great episode. Definitely a highlight of his entire run as the Doctor.
And he's barely in it. It's great.
But the thing I always remember from that episode is the angels are going for the phone box.
Yes,
I got that on a
t-shirt. The phone box. That's great. I've got that on a t-shirt.
You can buy that t-shirt. I Googled it and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's kind of what they mean by recording. I don't know. I also noticed Miss Minutes has, like, on their little Pip-Boy cell phone things, I noticed there's a Miss Minutes thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she's, like, the index. She's like the Clippy thing where it's like, can I assist you?
Clippy, oh my goodness.
Like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, there's Glossaric, who is this magical embodiment of the glossary of the Book of Spells.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe she's Glossaric. Dude, I could look at this show for hours. Like, when I first saw images of, like, Loki in the tie, Loki in the shirt, and Loki in the jacket, I was like, he looks ridiculous. Usually he wears this, like, really eccentric clothes. It makes so much sense. I love looking at the TVA. Jeez, they are just capturing the imagination here, and I am absolutely loving it. And something we actually neglected to bring up last episode, Jack, so we actually need to backtrack a little. You and I both said offhandedly we love the music, but never went into detail.
I took note of that again this episode, yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, there's like these violins and old horns, and it's like, oh, but then you'll hear like,
there's this like motif of like a ticking clock for the bass line for a lot of the tracks. It's really nice.
And there are some moments where it sounds like this is a show about, like, Vikings. Like, I've heard stuff like this in Viking shows.
Yeah. It's sort of like an Asgard sort of motif whenever Loki, when he sees his mom dead and he's reading about the Ragnarok, it's like, not go together. And then the theme for the, like, logo, slight tangent, I think the, like, black and white logo looks better than the colorful one. Just me. And, like, the outro credits theme is really nice as well. The score is great.
I love these shows. I love the credits, and that is something I can only say about Marvel projects. Because these credits are so beautiful.
Sci-fi-ish. And I'm not really a huge fan of sci-fi. I'm more of a fantasy type person, but it's cool.
Well, let's jump right in. I guess a brief synopsis for anyone out there not watching. Loki decides to help the TVA track down himself, who is actually a lady Loki. There are a lot of hijinks of Lady Loki getting bombs to blow up the timelines. There is a whole fight scene that takes place at a Ren fair. Loki figures out that Lady Loki is hiding out in apocalypses because being there won't create any sort of branch in the almighty timeline. And at the end, well, Lady Loki succeeds, bombs the main timeline, And everything probably went to shit in the next episode. I guess we'll have to see. Loki chooses to abandon Mobius and follow her, or maybe he's trying to fulfill the mission. Who knows? That is your general synopsis. Now let's go in more depth. Jack, do you have any notes to guide us?
From the start, the Ren Fair was great. I love it. It stars on a black screen. You hear the sort of medieval music. I think the subtitle even says it's just Renaissance music. And then you start to see the environment and the bunting and the buildings and the occasional person in a hoodie walking through, and then you get the date, and it's like, oh, it's 1985, and it's a Ren Fair. Really fun playing with your expectations there, because, oh, it's time travel, we're going back to medieval times. No, we're going back, like, a few decades.
Okay, I have a question, and some people on the internet seem to be a little confused about this too. In the last episode, there was apparently a woman in the background. I don't know if we talked about this. There was a woman in the background that everyone is thinking was Agent Carter. So, here's the thing. That woman who, like, calls out the TDA for being like, hey, why aren't you dressed up? I need this. Did anyone notice, like, just her hair-wise, she looked exactly like Agatha Harkness?
Yeah, she had a bit of a Catherine Hahn vibe there.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, she kind of almost sounded like her. It's just a little bit off, but that's what I say. It was like, wait a minute, Agatha, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I don't think it's actually her. And on that Agent Carter thing, I don't think it's actually her. She's wearing blue, which is unlike anyone else there, and the hair does match, but sort of everyone in the TVA has that sort of retro aesthetic to them. I don't know. It's not clear enough to say one way or the other, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think it's her, because what I came down to is, for a while I was like, no, that's her. What I came down to is there's a shot in WandaVision that shows her like thousands of years ago, right? Talking to witches, and she looks exactly the same. And this woman would have been like a younger version of her. So I don't actually think it's her either. I just wanted to bring it up because everybody is trying to find the cameos.
Yeah. Which apparently there's going to be a bunch of, and it's going to be really cool. But not Mephisto.
Honestly, I think Marvel at this point... I think Marvel at this point should do something with Mephisto. Because, weirdly enough, without appearing in a movie and without, like, being shown in the MCU, everybody now knows this character's name to the point where they might as well just throw him in something.
After all, you're Mephisto.
I am still Mephisto, if you follow the lore.
Yay!
I think they should. Though I think that because there's such a mystique around this character now in just like pop culture from this, it needs to be done well. Don't just throw him into something. You could give him a little cameo or something that our character goes to hell and you have a brief scene or two with Mephisto or Satan. But beyond that, I don't know.
You're going to have a hella cameo there too.
Oh yeah. I was wondering when Loki's reading the document on Thor Ragnarok, I'm like, oh, is he gonna realize he has a sister?
So I do have a little bit of comic book knowledge for this episode. Did you guys notice that, like, when everybody, like, you know, we first see it during the "I need a hero" scene, where frickin' Lady Loki touches somebody and, like, takes them over, like, possesses them briefly?
Yeah.
Loki later refers to that as enchantment.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe this is a direct reference to the Enchantress, who is a character in the MCU, who is actually Loki's sidekick. So I'm actually going to be listening very carefully if this Loki has a different name than just Loki. Because, you know, blonde hair, wearing green, this could just straight up be the Enchantress. I don't know. Maybe she's from a dimension where her and Loki were, like, in a relationship or something, and the TVA took out her Loki. Like, they even said, we've taken out more Lokis than any other, like, variant. So, who knows? Who knows? Also, did you guys like the Hulk Loki?
Yes.
That was kind of funny.
reminds me when we covered that Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and so everyone get the sort of gamma versions. Like, this is the gamma version of Loki.
I feel like this is another step towards the MCU, like the universe, like the multiverse, just showing that there's a universe where Loki like is a competitive like biker or swimmer and shit like that. I don't know. Anyway,
or whether that's one of the branches off this. Like, it's like, oh, he was always meant to be DB Cooper, but at some point he makes a slight change and decides to be Sir Chris Hoy or some athlete, take their place, and they're like, no, you're not meant to do that. Stop. Disintegrate this universe.
It just really makes me wonder what makes you a variant in the eyes of like the people, you know?
I think it's either you caused the branch or you're like a leftover person from a branch, would be my guess.
Well, I gotta be real, this episode made me see this whole thing way more culty. I know we briefly brought that up in the last episode. These guys are a fucking cult. They just are. But real fast, do you guys have anything you'd like to add? Cher, I saw you raise your hand.
No, I was just saying one of us.
Great for good.
The ultimate timeline. It is a little weird that
I knew female Loki existed, but I didn't know it was gonna actually happen. I guess it makes more sense though either way. But hey, at least it's not like one of those other ones where, funny story. So I was actually searching up some stuff for like fanfics and stuff because I like to write fan fiction. Don't judge me. But it's mainly Rise of the Guardians type because I freaking love Rise of the Guardians. And again, I have a very fondness of anyone that's named Jack. So, but anyways, I was actually reading something on like the wiki page. I mean, don't trust Wikipedia and all, but the
fandom.wiki page, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the stuff with like Brave and How to Train Your Dragon and Frozen and Tangled and all the other random stuff. So when I got to the alternate universes of like when people like to make those type of fan fictions, I know I sound like a crazy person, but whatever. I got to the part with like the superheroes, like which character would be kind of like to which like superhero. Like some people saw like Flynn Rider as like Tony Stark, or like Jack Frost as Captain America, or Kristoff from Frozen as Thor, which I mean I could kind of see that. Or the sisters Anna and Elsa could be Thor and Loki, especially Elsa. Some people were depicting Elsa as like the daughter of Loki. I was like, wait, what?
The internet's a crazy place.
Jack, save us from the internet. What do your notes say?
Oh, let me bring up my keyboard and do Bo Burnham's Inside Welcome to the Internet. Which, if you haven't seen, check it out on Netflix. But on the Lady Loki point, that was, we alluded to it briefly last. I think that's what me and Kneale were both, without saying last week. That
I slipped up. I did say it last time.
I'd seen the leak. You'd seen the image. Oh yeah, you slipped up. On the Enchantress connection, potentially, there's a good wee series of videos, whether she will literally be an Enchantress timeline thing. I like that idea. There's a series of videos by Nando V Movies on YouTube that he's just done, oh, the Vulture isn't the Vulture, Ego isn't Ego. Just sort of taking, here's this character in the MCU, and sort of the role they fill is an amalgamation of these different comic book characters to make it more interesting. So I think, Lady Loki isn't Lady Loki. Potentially will be a future video. She's Lady Loki and the Enchantress and, I don't know, Scarlet Witch, because Nexus shenanigans. Who knows?
I mean, I've wanted Enchantress in the MCU for a while. I've always felt like she, her whole thing is literally she enchants people. Like, she mind controls people, and they, like, to screw over the Avengers and shit. The biggest one is usually Hulk.
She does evil dances. If you look into her eyes, she'll put you in trances. And what will she do? She'll mix up an evil brew, and then she'll gobble you up in that big tasty stew. So, watch out.
I have no idea what that's a reference to, but I respect you for referencing it.
First season of Friendship is Magic. Woo!
The use of I Need a Hero, really fun during that fight scene in the beginning. Not the best use of it, as we've already said, Shrek 2.
I will be bringing that up again later.
I think it'd be fun to sort of harken back to, because this is a scene with the Loki fight scene. It'd be really fun to have, if perhaps the climax of the show is Lady Loki versus our Loki, and it's sort of his anthem being the hero. It'd be really fun. I want to see when the show is done, someone to make an AMV on YouTube of just clips of Tom Hiddleston's Loki to that. Come on, give me that.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going into this theory now because I think you just kind of gave me the best setup. If you listen very closely to the lyrics, it does kind of seem like the song is about Loki. Like it goes, "Where have all the good men gone? And where are all the gods?
Where's the streetwise Hercules?
Surprising odds.
So here's
a white night upon the fiery steep.
In a night I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. Anyways, here's the thing. I think this is a subtle hint. This show is meta as hell. From the beginning, it's been meta, especially when it's like, it was never your story, Loki. You are literally just a character to make other people better. I think playing I Need a Hero right here, this is a hint. And Lady Loki is still the hero. I think she's trying to save the multiverse. I have come to the conclusion that when they are when they are erasing these universes, if you look at it at the Ren Fair, the grass doesn't go away. So I was wondering, and I remember that shot of like New York in ruins and Avengers Tower. What if, in the trailer, of course. What if all those things do is take the people out of the branches, but the branches are still there? What if they aren't stopping universes from being created? They're just taking everybody out in them so that this one timeline is the only one with people. I think that Lady Loki's goal is these guys are unintentionally, because I think Mobius is a good dude. Maybe Renslayer is aware. I think they are unintentionally kind of culling the universe. And Lady Loki's reason for bombing the main timeline was, look at that. Now that's going to branch. That has to branch. I just don't know. And also, I think there's a possibility that the Timekeepers aren't real. I think there's a chance that it's just Renslayer. And
we'll get into that. I think focus on the wee idea of the culling everyone and trimming the branches. I think you're right. It doesn't remove the grass or anything, but you do see it does start to remove, like, within the Ren Fair, it removes like the seats and the ring for the fights and stuff. It does delete more than just the people, but notably from what we saw, it did get rid of the ground or anything. It might just be it takes a wee bit, it destroys this stuff first and then the planet, and then just sort of radiates out or something. We don't know exactly. We've only seen this done for a few seconds. It is worth noting that it definitely didn't get rid of everything right away.
Oh, you're right. You're definitely right. But what do you guys think about the song being a hint? Because, like, I'm also, like, the thing that keeps bugging me is I thought Lady Loki was trying to get caught, and that's why she gave the gum to the kid. Turns out she wasn't trying to get caught. So, what? She just gave gum to a kid to be nice? Like, why would a villain do that? I don't think she's a villain. I don't. I think it's going to be revealed that the time police
TVA
are the bad guys.
They're
I've seen that uploaded.
Duh.
No, I like that idea because again, like, oh, why would she leave that? So it acts as a bit of a clue that leads to here, which they wouldn't have got to had Loki himself not thought of it. So it's Loki thinking like Loki, who's thinking like Loki. But also once there, and she clearly using TVA tech opens the portal to get away, leaves it open long enough, and as soon as Loki goes through, closes it behind him. She was clearly waiting for him to come with. I think she wants. From what she said, she doesn't. But equally, that's in the presence of there are TVA agents here. I think perhaps she because it's not, oh, we want to. He's like, oh, join me and we will overthrow and rule the TVA. She's like, that's not what I want. She didn't say that she doesn't want to work with him. Just that she doesn't want to rule the TVA.
So the question here is, what is Lady Loki's motivation? And I think we're going to get... I think we could get hints of that in the next episode. I truly cannot see a future where Lady Loki is the villain. And one more comic book reference to help support my point. If you look closely, one of Lady Loki's horns is broken.
Oh, like Emperor Grove from SPD.
Well, yes, that actually is. I mean, I love Power Rangers. That's a good reference. Yes, like Grum. Lost my train of thought. Now I'm thinking of Power Rangers. Oh, yeah. So that specific look is from the comics, where there is a young Loki that actually becomes a good guy and answers for all of the bad stuff he did. But I think it also supports my claim of maybe this isn't Loki, but is actually Enchantress from a reality where, like, there was like a romantic relationship between the two. Because how did that horn get broken?
So it was Loki's, then he got attacked or erased or injured, and she's now wearing it. I like that idea.
And especially if it's like she's trying to make people think she's Loki. That way they don't just go, oh, it's this person. Let's go erase them from the timeline. Yes,
because it brings up the point, and I'm glad that, again, it's episode 2, and they revealed her face and everything. It brings up the point of why bother wearing the hood and robes and stuff and everything to hide who you are. They clearly can track your signature and, okay, this is a Loki. If you're wearing Loki's garb and stuff from this broken timeline, or that could be it, maybe to think that the only person who survived from that timeline was that Loki who they think they dealt with. It's interesting.
I think that might also play a role why they're like, yeah, I think you're right. I think it plays a role with why it's so hard to find this person. Because maybe it's not Loki at all. And I'm just going to say it. That was Enchantress's power. Like, the greenness, the smoke, and the glow, that's her power. So my big Mephisto of this show is going to be that is actually the Enchantress and is not a Loki. But we'll see.
Do you want to bring up again, they do mesh together ideas like Hela just being able to make blades and stuff. That's someone else's powers and stuff. They do mess with it a little. But blonde, the green eyes, they directly call it enchantment. I think you're onto something there.
I think if it is not the case, I think if it's not Enchantress, okay. But I think there is very much like a little bit like maybe it is. But we'll see. Did you have any favorite moment of this episode, Sher?
Besides Miss Minutes.
I like that she keeps popping up. I'm convinced that character is going to start getting a lot of merch.
I would totally buy one. I love you, Tara.
I actually love like that she turns into a monster at the end.
Oh.
That's the reveal. What if the 3 timekeepers are actually, I forget her name, with a woman who Mobius went to the office. What if it's Renfair, Miss Minutes, and the third character, the sort of 3 heads of the TVA?
I mean, that keeper of the TVA, that lady, That is Kang the Conqueror's girlfriend. She's in the comics. That's his girlfriend. So something's going on with her. She isn't necessarily evil in the comics, so maybe she's just a good person. Something's going on here. I do not trust the TVA, and I think anybody who does is never going to be able to ride their water ski into the sunset.
It was the same thing about Agnes, and she turned out to be Agatha Harkness. Ooh, I'm still happy about that one. But I was actually trying to say I actually like the interactions with the Mobius. It took me a while to I keep wanting to call him Morbius, but it's not. It's Mobius. But and Loki, especially that one part where they're actually talking, and I don't remember the exact line. I think it was something about a bad person isn't truly bad, and a good person isn't truly good, which means everything is not what it seems. So maybe the TVA may be the bad guys, and female Loki, Lady Loki, whatever, she might be the good one. You don't know. It's all a mystery.
I definitely think you're onto something here, Sher. I think that, like, what the story actually is, because right now it seems like Mobius is going to, like, get Loki to, like, you know, turn against his bad ways and become a TVA agent. I think what actually is going to happen is Loki's going to do the opposite and do that to Mobius, which will be such an interesting dynamic, considering how quickly Mobius broke him in the first episode. Like, geez.
I mean, Mobius definitely had the leg up on him there. Again, yeah, here's your entire life story, even the bit you haven't lived yet. But then here, I do like there's a few scenes where they're sitting just talking, the two of them, and Loki's asking these questions like, "Oh, so you were just made by the Timekeepers, and okay, so this is the goal of the TVA, and what next? Oh, well, we'll do this, and oh, we do free will. Oh, there's a bit of chaos and everything, and that's fun." And then notably, like 2 sentences later, he says, "Oh yes, and then there will be no chaos." It's like you're contradicting yourself in what you personally enjoy here. He's poking at this wall that Mobius has sort of got off this, again, as we're saying, a sort of cult idea that they're sort of indoctrinated here. Mobius is repeatedly shown to be sort of going against the grain a little bit here. It's like, oh no, we need to trust Loki. Wait, no, let's hear what he has to say. Again, with the kid, it's like, no, don't just disintegrate this child. Let me go and talk and console them a bit.
The TVA are assholes except for Mobius.
Yeah.
They are consistently assholes.
Although B-15 has some pretty funny moments. I like B-15.
I think she's like the big security guard lady, right?
Yeah. Sister.
I think she's gonna turn good and side with Mobius. There is an ending in my head where I'm like, Renslayer is revealed to be evil, and Team Loki needs to take her down. Her and maybe Kang. I don't know. But this episode was great. I just love the little moments of Loki doing paperwork. And he's just looking through. He sees Asgard destroyed, and we just see him cry. Even though he's the one to do it. Like, he's the one that destroyed it. I can't state this enough.
The figure is like, they say it's like 9,720 odd people die there. As before, Thanos shows up and wipes out a further half of that. Half of the survivors. Yikes.
I mean, when we see New Asgard, it isn't like a big, like, state or like it isn't like a big area. It's just a small city.
It's
like a small town.
Fishing village.
I'm just saying, dude, we're in a weird place right now in the MCU with Asgard. Tom Hiddleston never ceases to surprise me in this show. And I'm saying this at episode 2. He is 100% still playing the same character of Loki that we've seen in all of these movies. Like, the idea of Loki, where he's still in it for himself. He's still trying to betray everybody. And yet, he does still have compassion. He does still love people. I would honestly love to see his reaction if he saw Thor again. And I think the best example of this is when he's by himself, he sees all the dead, and he just starts crying. But then somebody else says, "Oh, Asgard exploded." And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, I guess it did." That man's got walls, dude. I wish I was that bulletproof.
Yeah.
But shall we continue with your notes, Jack?
The plot and mechanics of how the time travel and the Nexus splitting and being able to hide in apocalypses in this episode, I adore that.
I'm right there with you.
So the first thing brought up is we get an explanation of the branches going towards this red line that we see sort of parallel to it, just on all the heads-up displays and everything throughout the TVA. It's like, oh, once it gets beyond that arbitrary line, there is a consequence. At that point, it can no longer be trimmed back, apparently. Which is interesting. And Miss Minute says, it's like, oh yeah, and as soon as that happens, everything ends. Which, as Loki calls out later, it's like, oh yeah, I got tired of listening to all that TVA propaganda. So I wonder, is that true? Or is it the end of this show going to be branches splitting off and we'll get our Multiverse of Madness story?
Well, I just thought of something just now. The Timekeepers are like outside of time, right?
Seemingly.
So when did the Multiverse War happen? Or has it already happened?
It was presented as having already happened. It's like, oh, in the past this happened, and they interfered and made just the central main one timeline out of it.
No, hear me out here. If they're beyond time, does that mean that they're in like a loop where the multiverse war is always happening? Does that mean that like you could theoretically go to before they made the ultimate timeline? I think this kind of goes back to what Mobius was saying about like, if you look too far into anything, none of it makes sense.
Yeah. And again, Loki goes like, oh yeah, can I get documents on the Timekeepers? That's classified. On the start of time, classified. The end of time, classified. Okay, what can I see? His own personal file.
I mean, that's where he figures out.
Yeah, it works.
Also, one final comic book reference. Roxmart is the name of that store.
Yep.
Roxxon is like a huge thing in the comics and video games at this point.
And the Netflix series, they get name dropped a bunch. They appear. The logo is all throughout the MCU. I'm
just saying, maybe Roxxon's going to be important later, and maybe this is a foreshadow of that. But who knows? Who knows? The future is strange.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope. We were given the year that this apocalyptic storm happens. So it'll be fun if sort of during the MCU, as we continue chugging on, because again, the current state of everything, Spider-Man and Endgame and everything, is 5 years ahead of us. So as we sort of keep moving forward in time with the movies, they'll get to the point that this apocalyptic storm happens. I think it'll be really fun we get to that point and we see, oh, it's a Graviton or Gravitas, whatever his name is, or something, like wreaking havoc on the planet or something, causing this. This is a side thing happening as a consequence of the next Thor movie or the next Avengers or something. It's like, oh, while this is happening, we know that Loki and Mobius and female Loki are fighting in this wee shopping center somewhere. I'm
with you, and like, if it were any other franchise, I'd be like 30 years? It's not going to be around then. This is the MCU, folks. Maybe it will be.
Yeah. We passed decade one. We'll see how we do.
I mean, my perfect MCU thing is I've always been like, okay, there needs to be 3 sagas. The Infinity Saga, the main villain was Thanos. This one, I don't know if the main villain is going to be Kang, because it seems like he's going to be the main villain of chapter 4. So
we know he's the main
someone
villain
else.
for Ant-Man 3.
I think
I'm
he's going
skeptical
to
whether
make
he'll be
his
the
way
main
to
one of
Avengers.
the saga, but
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. They're setting it up, dude. That's his girlfriend.
yeah.
But
Did you think a third one as well?
well, I
Third
think there
saga.
would be a third saga. Like, maybe not this exactly, but wouldn't it be cool if like every 10 years we get a different saga? I don't know. I will be long dead by then. Surely.
Yeah, 30 years from now, we've got our 50-year-old Tom Holland Spider-Man. I'm not against that, but
I'm not against that either.
it's very interesting to follow this.
We're
MCU.
still doing this show. We're just all really old. And by really old, I mean 50, which isn't that old, honestly. But, yeah, whatever. So, do we have anything else we want to bring up before we, mention, more theories if we have them, or anything else? Do we have any favorite moments or any further notes? Sher, I pick you. Speak.
Why?
You have to speak, child.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do I have to speak?
Tara Strong wills it.
I don't know.
Timekeeper Miss Minutes wills it so.
Woo! If Miss Minutes ceases to exist, I will cry.
I want her to become a giant monster. I legit want at the very end it to be like Miss Minutes is real, is a giant monster, but she still sounds like Tara Strong.
Oh, yeah.
And Loki has to fight her.
I don't want her to die.
I don't want her to die either, but let's be honest, that'd be a really cool way to go out.
Stop it.
How do we feel about the scenes where Mobius got a bit more character? Like, he even talked to Renslayer. He seems a little submissive. Like, he's like, oh, how come you get all my stuff? And she's like, I signed the warrant for the mission. And then he's like, yeah, you're right, I guess.
So yeah, you're my boss, I suppose.
I like him a lot. I love the chemistry between Loki and him. I just want to get his deal, though, because I hate when he looks at Renslayer and says, hey, if he's bad, I'll erase him myself. That seemed out of character a little. I thought he actually cared about Loki.
I think that's sort of assuring her is like, if I make a mess, I'll clean it up. I don't think he has any actual intention to.
I mean, in a way, they're kind of both learning about each other. Like, Loki kind of learns a little bit about Mobius, and Mobius learning about some of the stuff that Loki says. Well, although I will say one of my favorite moments, because I was blanking out for periods of time, eating graham crackers. I would say one of my favorites is whenever Loki tries to explain something and nobody gets it.
But no, there's a different spell. It's a different power set.
I find it so funny, and then the whole, I think it was because I think it was 2. It was when they were at the Renaissance Fair, and then the salad bowl and the salt and pepper.
That's my favorite line. That's not the timeline. That's my salad. Oh God, I loved it. Go ahead, Sher.
No, I think that's I think that's it. I don't know. I just love those 2 parts.
How did you like? I know you brought it up briefly, Jack. How did you guys feel about the whole? Yes, they're hiding in apocalypses, because I thought that was genius.
That's really good.
You could screw around and do whatever you want, and Loki did. He literally said, "I am Loki." He let a goat out. I was expecting him to use some magic. I wanted to see him make a giant illusion or something. I also wonder if that means that the timekeepers are blind to moments like that. I
Or
don't
I
know.
think
I
it's just
guess
that it doesn't matter because, Loki can be there. You can have the variant person. Even if they didn't go to Pompeii, you can have a person make a decision different from what they're meant to. But
Yeah, I
their
think
change doesn't change anyone else's. They don't cause a ripple effect causing that because everyone there dies anyway. The events that happen in the next 30 seconds won't cause a branch timeline because everyone dies there and it doesn't spread.
You know,
Fingers
I just
crossed.
saw something. You know what
Oh,
would be
I think
a
I've lost
really
connection.
cool song? You know what would be a really cool song?
You're still here, Jack. We still hear you.
Oh, what happened?
Jack lost connection for a minute.
Oh man, because I was about to say something that I just literally thought about. Again, my mind is just going blank right now, even though I love this episode. And I'm just eating a bunch of graham crackers.
He'll be back. Soon you'll see. He'll remember you belong to me.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm talking about time travel and weird universe-breaking stuff. My connection breaks down. That's
Is the recording still going?
apparently.
Whoa.
Part 2.
Hi, everyone. Not really a part 2. We're still here. Hi, everyone. We had a little issue. Jack died. This is actually Variant Jack. Hi, Variant Jack.
Hello. The slight difference is one hair in my head is in a different position.
Yeah, fun fact, in a world of multiple universes, we actually did find one that is essentially just Jack, except for that one tiny difference. Yeah.
No, the hiding there at Apocalypse is great. That's like something. It's an idea in time travel that I've never been presented with before, which is crazy given how much Doctor Who I've watched.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Like,
it's a really cool idea. I really like this.
And it seems obvious, doesn't it? It seems like if you're in a place where everything's about to be destroyed, of course there's nothing you could do wrong. Like there's no way you could like set off like a whole new timeline because this one's about to be wiped.
Using the mechanics explained in this show, because again, with Doctor Who, with Pompeii, it's like, everyone's going to die, but instead they choose to save one family, and it doesn't make too much of a ripple, but it makes a bit of a ripple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. We're 2 episodes in, and again, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie were great in Falcon Winter Soldier. But in the first 2 episodes of that, I didn't quite buy their chemistry. The first episode, they don't interact at all. The second one, it was a little shaky. Here, I already love Mobius and Loki as a buddy cop duo here.
It is also interesting to me that so many of these shows, actually all of them, seem to focus on a duo. Like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and now Mobius and Loki. Like, the show is just as about Loki, as about Mobius, as it has been about Loki. Like, literally, we're getting Mobius's backstory. We're getting, like, little tinges. Like, I think they both have just about the same amount of screen time.
Yeah.
Who knows, dude? I think Mobius, like, I can't imagine him in an Avengers movie for the life of me. But I'd love to see Owen Wilson keep going with this character.
He'd be one of those guys in the suit on the sidelines. You have your Everett Ross, you have your Phil Coulson, you have your Agent Mobius. Sitting in the break room, cheering them on from the sidelines.
That's me. That's me if I'm in the MCU. I would be the Ned Leeds guy in the chair. But Sher, you mentioned a song you wanted to see in a certain scene? Or did you forget?
No, I remember. I think.
All right, let's see if you do. Let's test that.
Apocalypse, right? Apocalypse.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we will be going to more apocalypses later.
I got it. got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Give it to us.
I got it. It's not gonna go away. Okay. I got this.
You got it? Prove that.
I don't know, man. I feel weird today.
Show me what you got.
It's the end of the world.
Oh.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Good. I would love it at the next episode with all of the red lines coming off of it and everyone running with papers. If that just plays.
Yeah.
And you hear like Renslayer say, "Where's the Loki variant?" And then it goes, "I feel fine." And then it cuts to Loki.
It's the end of the world. Just as like the TVA is just crumbling around him or something.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
One of my that's like my favorite Rem song. One of my favorite 80s songs ever.
Reminds me of what's it?
Oh, go ahead.
I get the TVA being similar to the Commission in Umbrella Academy, but the end of season 1 of Umbrella Academy, light spoilers for that, but if you've seen anything for season 2 and season 3 on the way, it gets into time travel shenanigans. So it's, the world's ending, the moon is crashing into the planet.
Oh yeah, funny enough, actually,
just
my
jumping back in time, it plays the song, Time, 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 see what's become of me. It's played around with stuff like that. Gravity Falls is there's a massive countdown clock in the episode Melody seems just like, it's the final countdown, just like they always sung about.
Oh, but I was just saying, actually, one of my favorite Friendship is Magic episodes is the season 5 finale, where they actually do go traveling back in time. Don't judge me, I freaking love
They travel back in time in My Little Pony?
Don't act like that's surprising me.
It is surprising.
Bro,
I thought this was a show about horses.
Main character, who is also voiced by Tara Strong, by the way, the freaking main character is also voiced by Tara Strong. She had to battle the centaur in the season 4 finale.
What is up with My Little Pony right now?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not up to date, but it is worth a watch.
I kid you not, like literally, season 1, party chaos. Season 2 finale, changeling attack. Season 3, the main character becomes a princess. Season 4, giant centaur feeding off of magic. Season 5, time travel. Season 6, the return of the changeling.
So much.
And amongst all that, you've got Discord, you've got the Equestria Girl specials.
Woo! Sirens.
Discord is amazing, and Fluttershy
Season 7,
Destiny.
freaking Shadow Pony that basically looks like Venom.
There's 7?
Season 8.
Remember, this is the remake, man.
Season 8, School. The Battle of the School, because the princess opens up her own school. Season 9.
Wacky shit.
Season 9, the final season, is like Avengers style. Everyone comes together and defeat villains.
I have seen 2 episodes of My Little Pony, and it was literally just like, one character wants to prove they can fly fast, and then in the other episode it was one is shy. That is my exposure.
If you put in the time, it's worth it, but yeah.
I thought they were all like that.
No, but actually from the season 5 finale, they actually make a couple of references to Doctor Who. There's even a Doctor Who pony.
Yeah. There's a Weird Al pony.
I've heard of him. His name's like Sandwich something.
Yeah.
Cheese sandwich.
Cheese sandwich. Anyways.
Yeah, Loki. Where's the Loki pony? Come on.
I mean...
a note I've got at the top of the page here, because, again, you guys did a video on it recently. Check it out, guys. I really think it's going to be a massive missed opportunity. They need to do the Kablooey bars, need to be at Avengers Campus.
So...
They need to make this candy bar.
The Kablooey candy, I didn't know if that was gum or something. That is not yet at Avengers Campus, but you know what is at Avengers Campus? Time variant Loki.
Oh, nice.
He wears the prison suit he's in the first episode. And he is taken out there by the TVA, people in the TVA armor.
That's very cool.
He never
It's
talked
just like
about
the
that
Ren
during
Fair then.
Avengers Campus. He never mentioned anything about that during our Avenger Campus video.
It wasn't a thing then. It just happened.
When?
After the premiere of the last episode.
Oh.
We
And now
recorded...
for this episode, he'll be out in the tie and the coat now.
If you'll remember, Sher, he'll have the coat. If you'll remember, we recorded that right after the day after we recorded the Loki episode. Sometime that week, time variant Loki started showing up. Which leads me to believe this is what they meant when they said after every Disney Plus show, you might want to come back because there will be new stuff in the park. And of course, this is a great example. I do think we'll see Kablooey eventually. Jack, I'm right there with you.
Very
now
clever,
they made it sort of an
Kevin.
integral plot point there to track down Lady Loki. I think it's going to be a missed opportunity if they don't. And it's handled much better than the... What was it? M&M's being an integral plot point in Iron Fist?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I will let you guys know that the only like Marvel Netflix show I remember watching the most was Jessica Jones, only because David Tennant was in it, and I just freaking love David Tennant. I remember seeing a couple episodes of Daredevil and Luke Cage. I don't remember Iron Fist. I remember he was in the Defenders, but I just don't remember Iron Fist.
Here are the rules with Netflix Marvel. Jessica Jones is the best one.
I thought people said Daredevil. I thought people said Daredevil was the best one.
I know, I lean a bit more Daredevil, but Jessica Jones had 2 seasons. They were both great. Daredevil had 3, and the second one was okay overall. So, but percentage-wise of just sheer content, Jessica Jones is probably the best, but I did really enjoy Daredevil.
I think there was 3 seasons of Jessica.
I mean, there are rumors that Charlie Cox is going to play Matt Murdock.
Right, there are 3 Jessica Jones. My bad.
Are there?
Yeah.
Yes, because season 2, spoilers for Jessica Jones, because season 1 ends with Kilgrave's death. Season 2 ends with Jessica's mum's death, which then motivates the whole Patsy stuff in season 3.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
fun fact, there's actually a Power Ranger in Jessica Jones.
Oh, I know. He's the guy from RPM.
RPM! Yay! And Summer's in iZombie.
And Iron Fist could have done with the 3rd season, because the best episode, the best bit of Iron Fist is the cliffhanger at the end of season 2. I'm like, cool, now I want to watch.
But it's too late.
For those of you who don't know what Jack is referencing with Iron Fist using M&M's as a plot point, slight spoilers, but this is the dumbest shit you're going to hear all day.
Oh boy.
So Danny Rand, Iron Fist, has to prove he's actually Danny Rand. And the way he does this is his childhood friend who was there sends him a bag of M&Ms. And he sends the M&Ms back with all of one color picked out. And that's it. That's enough where it's like, I know you. I know you.
They always removed, they never ate that one color.
Was it green? It wasn't green, was it?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember, and I don't care.
It's so dumb, Cher. It's so dumb.
Finn Jones, you're a good actor.
With the Loki
Iron
charms.
Fist is
Loki
Finn
charms.
Jones is great. Finn Jones is really good.
I kept asking my mom, can we get Loki charms? She said no.
I'm getting a box. And fun fact, I will keep track of this for you fine people watching. Apparently after the show goes away, those go away too. So if you want them, get them quick.
I want a Loki charm, but my mom says no because we don't have enough money.
I mean, if it means anything, it's literally just the cereal itself is not changed. It's still Lucky Charms.
I know, but it's Loki.
It's just the box art.
I want the box though.
Oh yeah.
I will gladly pay for it. How did we feel about okay, let's be honest. This show's gonna end with Mobius on a water ski, right?
I
Is that
hope
what
so,
they're setting
just
up?
because everyone's been making that joke.
I mean, he literally goes, water skis are like the perfect combination. It's what we're fighting for.
The girl
How
we're
do you-
fighting for.
It almost feels like this is to justify some scene later where he gets to ride a water ski. Now,
it's a Chekhov's gun. We're just waiting to see if it gets fired.
I do think we've talked about most of the episode, but I do want to bring this up because I want to get your guys' feels. Apparently, according to the writer, this is very vague wording, but there is some very impactful stuff in episodes 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think I saw that quote.
So that's what my mom was talking about.
I'm a little confused by what you mean by that, but I'm going to truck on anyway.
She knows. She knows. She knows.
You have not explained anything by saying that.
Keeping it vague, like the show.
I'm more confused, but I'm trucking on. So my question to you guys is, what does that mean? Like, does it mean we're going to get a heartfelt cry moment?
Is someone gonna die?
I personally, what I think it means is it's episode 4 more than anything that confuses me. Because if it were just episode 5, it's like, no shit, that's the episode before the finale. Obviously, there's going to be big stuff. Episode 4 is supposed to have something, and I'm wondering with my brain, what is it?
I think it just means there's going to be a lot of impactful stuff. There's going to be a bunch of stuff over these few episodes.
I think next episode we get President Loki to some degree, whether that be Loki made his way to a random timeline or it's a variant.
Because now that he's got away, you can have that bit in the trailer where he's standing there triumphant. Well, what did you expect?
And then, after that, I think it is possible that episode 4 will be, this is where we learn Lady Loki's backstory.
That's
and maybe... What was that?
I said that's what I was thinking.
And maybe whether or not she's the Enchantress.
She does evil dances.
No, that's DC's. Don't talk about her. Episode 5 could be where the Time Variance Authority is revealed to be villains. Frankly, and I'll just let this lead into my final thoughts, then you guys can say your opinions, cover any notes, and figure out anything going forward. This show is the biggest surprise that has ever been on Disney+. I knew it was going to be good. I was kind of like, it's the same thing. All of these I've been like, it's okay, I'll watch it. WandaVision was the one I was the most excited about. And of the 3, don't get me wrong, I love WandaVision. I hate to even say this, but it's kind of the worst in comparison to the 3, even though it's really, really good. I think that Loki is going to bring new people into the MCU. It's throwing in new ideas. I'm just dumbfounded. I've never experienced a show that made me feel these emotions I'm feeling. And I really like it. Anyways, you guys can say your final thoughts and go into any remaining notes or theories. I am your audience member.
We're all audience members.
The world is a stage. We're just the audience.
Is this the real life?
I mean, it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate timeline. So, or is it?
Yeah. Not got much more in the way of notes. Again, the Lady Loki. There were sort of 2 leaky spoiler things I knew going into this show. One of them was Lady Loki, and that's done and dealt with in episode 2, which is great because you look at, again, Falcon Winter Soldier is like, yeah, right at the very end, we reveal that Sharon was the power broker. It's like, oh, cool, we've been calling that for the past few weeks. I'm glad that you address it in this one scene in the final episode and leave us to flounder and continue to have no clue what's going on. Whereas here, it's episode 2. We've got the rest of the show to cover this now. As we said, this feels almost like it's the climax. Granted, we now have this big thing that should take more than one episode to deal with, of all these branching timelines, Loki getting away. There's a lot to do now, which is great. But the other leak I know is stupid, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if it's true, because it's from a Lego leak, and whether that in itself is true is up in the air.
I mean, I don't mind that you
possible
talk about
spoilers. Everyone plug your ears if you don't want to know until I put my hand down, and then it's safe. Okay, everyone cool. Apparently,
I'm forget about it anyway. Knowing me, I'm probably gonna forget about it.
For like the Marvel Netflix shows, they're doing like, the Lego blind bag figures, where you don't know, like the collectible ones, you don't know who's inside it until you open it thing. And for that, they're doing, Scarlet Witch is Wanda, they're doing the White Vision, they're doing Captain America, Falcon, they're doing Bucky's the Winter Soldier, they're doing Loki, and he comes with Frog Thor.
Oh.
Apparently, that's a leak. That might not be true. Apparently, that's the case.
Dude.
And if they get Chris Hemsworth to voice that, ooh.
Dude.
But that's like a funny, goofy thing. I don't think that can fall under the impactful category from episode 4 and 5.
I mean, for me, it'd be quite an impact.
Oh yes, it would be great. And if that's, well, like we were saying, we want this Loki to meet Thor. If that's how that goes. It's like, we couldn't be bothered paying Chris Hemsworth to come on set for this. We just got him to record the voice for Frog Thor instead.
But this is so good. I would absolutely love it if the end of an episode is you see the rainbow colors of the Bifrost. You hear Loki go, brother, and then we get a close-up of Frog Thor saying, enough, Loki. And then it just ends.
Or speaking of rainbows and frogs, why are there so many songs about
rainbows?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he is just a Kermit-style puppet?
Oh, I
should have gone for the head. Another.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hand down and we'll be clear, and we will address that if it ends up happening. If not, cool.
Fingers crossed.
Again, I probably will not remember anything that you just said, but okay.
Okay, cool.
How do you forget that?
You skipped over that bit.
I have a very short attention mind span thing. Yeah.
For the record, what Jack said may or may not have been the best thing in the universe, but continue.
If it ends up happening, it might not. It's a leak based on a leak. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I don't know. My fingers are so crossed.
Yeah, Lady Loki. The only other note there, that's great that they did that in episode 2. Because they spent this episode doing the fight scenes with the enchanting people so we can have Loki interact with our variant Loki, whoever it is. Okay, cool. So this is how we can do it. We still have them interact without giving away who it is. But they give away who it is in this episode anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
I was just going to bring up that because of, they released... By the way, this is actually a third variant Jack. This one does not like the color red. That is the only difference between that Jack and our new Jack. Why don't you like the color red? Is there a dramatic backstory to that?
I'm not going to get into it.
I got a brace, guys, and now I'm back.
You're wearing red. You're offending time variant Jack number 3.
Well, technically, this is magenta.
Okay. Loophole.
But it's magenta, which is actually my second favorite color. I have a whole list of my favorite colors.
I want to learn that someday. Not today, but someday. I'll
tell you after.
Going to bring up. I look forward to it. What I was going to bring up is they released Loki's bio that the TVA owns.
Yeah, it's in the ending credits of every episode.
Yeah, and Loki identifies as gender fluid. So I have been watching Tom Hiddleston's performance like, I wonder if you can see it. And you kind of can, especially in this moment where Lady Loki is just like going to several different people and like it's the most casual thing in the world. Assuming that is Lady Loki.
True, or Enchantress, or whoever.
She does evil dances.
She may do a dance. Who knows? Zemo did it.
You want to dance?
Oh, we need the Zemo dance to I Need a Hero. Holding out for a hero, yeah.
But anything else before final thoughts and ratings, guys?
Not really, no.
Sher, anything left to add?
No.
All right, let's go into our ratings. I'll lead us off, if that's okay.
Of course.
Now, I do think this episode was really, really good. I'm like in my head, I'm like trying to be like, all right, I want to be fair. I want to be critical. I want to be fair. I didn't have many problems with this episode at all.
But
well, I think if I had one problem, it would have been, even though in the last episode, Loki was like, all right, I'm gonna help out. He immediately tried a little too hard to lie to Mobius to the point where I actually kind of cringed a little, like, oh God, Loki. Come on, like to the point where it was like overacting, which isn't a bad thing. It was funny, but it did hit me in the wrong way. And there were a couple moments where it's like, we're still dealing with Loki being unsure. I thought we solved this. I didn't hate it. I just wish, like, it almost felt like the big, like, reveal of last episode wasn't as important as I saw it. And I have watched that scene where Loki watches his life and he gets his neck snapped and he, like, cries when he talks to Thor as a friend. I've watched that scene so many times since then because it's such a great scene. And I felt like this episode, maybe unintentionally, kind of undermined that scene a little. So I do want to docket points for that. That being said, I think we all know that's a nitpick.
Yeah.
And this is a great show. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I loved the chemistry. I loved the scenes. It just works, man. It's a great show. What can I say?
You're welcome.
Cher, do you want to go next?
Oh, sure, I guess. That's funny.
You didn't think of your rating, did you? Calling you out, girl.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead then.
Okay. Well, again, Miss Minutes. Still literally my favorite character. I need to buy some type of merchandise of her because I love it.
I promise you, Funko Pops are on the way. I am sure of it.
Funkos, plushies, everything.
Well, I would love it if you could get a plushie.
I just like how she has a personality. She's not just some mascot. She actually has a personality.
She got snippy with Loki.
She's very snippet, and she has southern drawl, which is very cool, I guess. Anyway, I love the interaction with Moby. I don't know why I want to keep saying Morbius. It's not Morbius, it's Moby.
Just every time you say it, think of Moby Dick, and then go Mobius.
Yeah, I like the interactions between him and Loki. Loki just explaining things just remind me of myself because every time I try to explain things, nobody understands what the hell I'm talking about. It's funny though. Then of course, the reveal of female Loki. I was like, whoa, cool. And I think I put in the chat. I used like 2 gifs I like call them GIFs, but I'm pretty sure I guess they're GIFs, whatever. Anyways, I was like mind blown, and like that little kid from The Incredibles was like, that was totally wicked. So yeah, it's a great episode. I'm not giving it a 10 because there's more to come. I don't know what to expect. Who knows? Maybe TVA might be the bad guys. Duh. I love that song.
Yes.
But I really hope, and I doubt they're gonna do it, but if they do, it's the end of the world. I will be really happy. I will be really happy. I don't think they're going to, but I'll do it in my head. My head canon, it happens. And
Cool.
that's where it belongs.
So what is your rating?
Same as you, 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think
It's
this
really
is a
funny.
very 9 episode.
I just found it really funny and hilarious and really mysterious and.
I challenge somebody to feel nothing while watching the show. I think it's generally hard.
Even just joy and happiness, it's just fun.
Oh yeah. And in the last episode, I felt like a wreck when Loki felt like a wreck.
Yeah.
But
You got hit
Jack,
by a wrecking
what
ball.
is
works.
your rating?
They play
It
your
really
hearts.
works. You're right.
Yeah, again, ranking really high. I'm toiling between a 9 and a 9.5 because I can't give it a 10.
You can't,
Just because
what I have learned in our Disney Plus coverage is you're always like I personally am always trying to rank things like, oh, I'm always trying to rank them as I see them, and then later stuff comes out where I'm like, this is better, but now I am limited by my scale of 1 through 10.
I mean, that's what I did when I did Rise of the Guardians. I didn't want to give it a 10, but in my head canon it was a 10, but I gave it a 9 instead. But yeah.
I feel like I'm giving this a 9, which is again step up from last week. I feel like if it keeps this momentum going, I may end up just having to just give the next bunch of episodes a 10. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Okay,
I'm giving it a 9 just so there's a bit of wiggle room.
9 times 3 is 27.
Woohoo! Which,
And
for reference,
that's
stealing
90%.
things from last week. Last week was a 24
Oh yeah,
out of 30.
27.
we literally all went up by 1.
Yeah, I went up by 0.5, but yes.
So that means the
I-
average
it's
score
really
for
good.
90 for this episode. It's the 90 for
I-
this episode.
I gotta be
Average.
real, dude. Like, I this is the last thing I'll say, and then like, I'm good to go into plugs. I'm honestly worried a little about Black Widow because we have like had new, deeper looks into the characters with these TV shows to the point where I'm wondering if the movies aren't going to be able to keep up because there's just not enough time to have those deep looks. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, but it's legit like maybe Marvel should just do shows. I don't know though.
There's an argument to be made there, but I feel Black Widow, because it's a character, granted we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but because we know how her story ends and everything, and it is a Black Widow solo film,
Which we've all been
I think it'll be fine. If it was an ensemble, I would be concerned, yeah. I think it'll be fine. We will see.
Fingers crossed. One of my anticipated movies of this year, besides Raya, and I watched it already. It's a great movie.
Well, it's coming out real soon, and surely there will be some sort of coverage for it on this channel because I am the Marvel idiot.
Foreshadowing.
But let's go ahead and plug. Jack, you I mean, I know you got stuff to plug, but you got anything to plug?
Yeah. Again, I'm at Jack of All Trades on YouTube. Currently, again, I'm covering My Hero Academia. It's just about to start the next arc, so if you're wanting a jumping on point, this probably isn't that good of it, actually, because you need a lot of backstory. But starting the next arc, coming this weekend, just covered, the video went live earlier today, I believe, reaction to Adventure Time Distant Lands Episode 3, Finn and Jake together again.
Nice.
what is Pendleton Ward doing with this show? I can see why they don't want it on Cartoon Network anymore. It gets very grim with this episode, and I almost broke down crying at that. It's a lot.
It was
check
good, though,
that
right?
out.
Was it good?
Oh, it was very good. Not gonna spoil it, but the format of these Distant Lands episodes because they finished the whole show, and now Distant Lands is sort of this spin-off pseudo-sequel thing where the episodes just take place at any point in the show's timeline. It's just, here's a wee additional story. And this one is, without giving anything away, right at the end of Finn and Jake's.
Oh, dang.
Oh, Jack is frozen again.
Oh, well, don't worry, the recording is still going. Let's just finish real quick. Sher, you got anything to plug?
Besides the Facebook and Twitter, not really. I mean, I still feel sad I can't do Nickelodeon month, but I've been having a really fun time doing it on my own.
I mean, as long as you're having fun with it.
Although I kind of did suffer yesterday by watching The Last Airbender.
You watched my poor girl.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah, I think the recording kept going, so we just kept going with plugs.
Cool, okay.
Oh yeah, like I said, Twitter, Facebook, don't really have that much anything else. I mean, I still feel sad that Stardust has ceased to exist because I would have done Nickelodeon month.
Mm.
And so far, I've been having a really great time doing this on my own. I mean, I guess it would have been fun to share with you guys, but I don't really have time to do YouTube or Twitch or Instagram or Facebook. Well, I do have Facebook. Other media platforms that I can't think of the top of my head. But like I said, I've been having a really great time. Some spooky moments like watching Rain for the Dark and Rugrats and SpongeBob. I've yet to watch Invader Zim, which is really shocking because I'm a really huge fan of Invader Zim. But although I did suffer yesterday from watching The Last Airbender, because I don't have options right now. I only have Netflix, Hulu. I can watch stuff on YouTube or Dailymotion, or unless if I actually own it, like what I do with like these DVDs right here, I can't really watch a lot of stuff. Although someone actually posted all that on YouTube, so thank you. Thank you to the person who posted all that because I freaking love that show. I love all that. But yeah, Twitter, Facebook. You're welcome.
If you're holding out on Invaders in, enter the Florpus. The finale movie is on Netflix.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Jack, were you able to plug everything before you went out?
Just really my YouTube. Yeah, my TikTok exists, but I've not posted anything new on it in a while. I need to get back into that. I'll plug it later when there's something new to talk about.
All right, well, I shall plug my Twitch, and also, ladies and gentlemen, I have made a decision, and it is a vain decision, but it is a decision I have made. It is not worth a drum roll, but thank you. So I have noticed that for all of these Disney Plus series, people are sent merch if they are like influencers of any sort. And I have decided that I am going to try my damnedest to get the one for Hawkeye. And the only way I can see myself doing that is if I become a Hawkeye influencer. So join me in the month of July, Hawkeye month, where I cover everything I care about the character with the sole intent of trying to get Disney Plus to give me stuff. Is it vain? Yes. Is it silly? Yes. Will it work? Only one way to find out, guys.
Kneale, the lover of Hawkeye, the Muppets, Marvel.
I just want the merch.
Peter Pan.
Nope. Gonna get this except for a specific group of people, and I want to be there.
Again, Kneale, lover of Hawkeye, Muppets, Peter Pan, Marvel, whatever stuff that you mentioned that you love. But yeah.
Oh, of course. But if you would like to see other videos, maybe video game related, stay tuned on this channel because we're about to upload the E3 reaction VODs. Yes, we reacted on Twitch, and now they are going to be uploaded to YouTube shortly. And stay tuned if you liked how we talked about Avengers Campus earlier, because I'm going to do a video where I pitch a ride for every single Avengers character. Now, it's not every character in the MCU, just a couple specific ones that were good ideas for. But I'll see you guys then. And I think we're done. So, yeah, anything we should say to end off the episode?
I need a hero.
I thought of a really bad joke. He's got magic, and his backstory's tragic, and he's gotta win every fight. I need a Loki.
Please do It's the End of the World, please, which I doubt they're ever gonna do, but please, if you guys do It's the End of the World, you will make my day.